guys, today I wanted to talk about or wanted to show some replays against Vanquish Soul. It's always nice to have the one-off Maxi, but let's see what happens. Usually Dark Anti-Evaporation Dragon with the dragon name is full combo. During part of that combo I would usually set Ketu, get the Lucius, but now since I have both of them in my hand, I can play differently and possibly play around disruptions as well. So like I said, I would summon the Lucas during the combo, but now since I also have the Ketu, I can normal summon the Lucas. If he negates it, then that's fine by me, and I play from there with the Dark Anti-Evaporation and the Ketu. And if not, then I can still perform the combo just as usual. So he ashes that, which is like I said, fine by me. But also if he ashes that, people sometimes do that, stop the Lucius in hopes that he turn lands, which is not the case here. So I go for the Ketu, go for the Urgula. Like I said, one dragon in hand is combo. And I get max heat here, which is kinda bad. Now I have to end on much less of a board. And I have to reveal that I have the Maxi. Otherwise I must have gotten rid of the Lucius, which is, I'd much rather reveal that I have the Maxi than get rid of the Lucius. And now that I also got the Urgula back, I can possibly use it as a disruption. So here just go for Seal and end my turn. And Seals in and of itself is 3 disruptions. One, the non-target bounce. Second, when it summons the Molulu and the Molulu fuses, then the Molulu can go into Arthalion or Gulamel and negate a monster, so that's 2 more disruptions. But it's not really that good to have 3 disruptions tied to one card. Because, for example, if my opponent has a Called by the Grave, then I lose 3 disruptions for 1 Called by. And even if he has an Ash and uses that on the tribute effect in Grave, then he still trades with 1 low impact hand trap for 2 disruptions. So Seal is kinda wonky. But I also have the Droplet, which I think is really good this meta, and another Flame, and the Maxi, which can possibly draw me into other cards. So he starts with the Case of Canine. Generally will probably be Vanquish or Canine that I play against, and they don't play that many spells, so I think it's the correct decision to flame the Case of Canine. If it goes through, it goes through, and otherwise, yeah, he will get 1 name that he probably needs, probably Joku, because if he starts with Joku and has another level 5, that kind of feels unfair to play against. So I negate the Case for Canine. Get the Ketu, get another Droplet. And he has another spell. Reveals the Kurikara, which is whatever. Not really that important, at least not now. And I change it, but now that since he activated the Stake Your Souls, I can chain the Maxi and get a guaranteed draw. He summons the Raisin and activates his effect. Luckily he can't activate both effects in the same chain, but he will search, and afterwards he can probably pop the Seal, which is kinda bad for me. So the first intention would be to tribute the Seals, to bounce his monster, but I think this is really worth a Droplet because Raisin gets them whatever they want, and even if they tag out, the newly summoned monster will negate it, so probably better than just tributing the Seals, because if I do nothing he will try to pop the Seals. So and now I sent the Lucius, so he can't respond to the monster, and he has Crossout Designator, and I thought like, okay, this is really bad if he has the Droplet. But lucky for me, he declared Dr. Madlove, swaps with the Caesar, because he really wants to get in that Raisin, Surge, and I draw Perulia, which is honestly one of the best draws that I could have possibly gotten. He goes for Holisu, and before he further commits, he commits his battle phase to get rid of the seals. And now that I don't control any cards, I can chain Perulia, which is like if you summon from hand, I get Pot of Greed every time. So the Perulia also resolves. The Caesar is in the hand again. And here don't go for the Moluli because I have the 5 mana, and like I said, if he summons from hand, then I get 2 draws. So more likely than not I will draw a monster, and just in case he doesn't further commit and plays on my turn, which Vanquish can very much do, especially with 6 cards in hand, I decide to go for follow-up, and he can't kill me this turn anyways. Now he summons his Kurikara, which is whatever, 2 draws. Normal summons the Raisin, which I totally forgot that he didn't normal summon, so I only get 1 draw here. But I think that's worth activating the 5 mana. I've used 3, because now that I use the Crowley, I can make double use of the Althalion and also get another monster negate. And I get back the Maxi for next turn. So I will just go for a Kato here. My other Althalion summons back. The Raisin gets returned, and the Crowley goes to hand, which triggers it. And here we go for Zorora. And he basically has to deal with the Zorora because this turn it's a monster negate and non-target pop a card on the field. But also you can target 1 effect monster in your graveyard or 1 monster your opponent controls and equips it, so you can't only use the monsters that are in your grave, you can also use your opponent's monsters to break the board, so, and then it will get another monster negate again, so this is basically 3 disruptions if you don't properly deal with it. So he summons the Holisu, another 2 cards. Ash Blossom is nice. He gets back to Holisu, sets whatever card. And now he gets back the seals, and this is whatever because he probably didn't properly read it. It reads if this card is in the extra monster zone, you can tribute it to bounce a non-target bounce card on the field, but it's not. So this is basically worthless. And I get another draw and I get the search. So now I can maxi him again. Get rid of the Vanquisher. So now here I kind of have to negate this because getting everything he needs, every element or just any name he needs is just too good. And also I can non-target pop, which means this is now his only Vanquish soul on the field. If it's pop, then he can't summon the ones in hand, or he has to tag out, which would be kind of stupid because I just destroy the monster he newly summoned. But I have to get rid of my Zorora in order to do this, and change the Caesar, which I will just immediately pop. So Althalion triggers again, so we definitely have more than enough to go for lethal this game. Here we go for Secretarian, because the Secretarian can revive back the Zorora because it's a spellcaster, so it's live for next turn. And now we also get the Lucius. And this in of itself is enough for game because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand and 5 monsters on field. And he has 3 cards in hand, and I will destroy his whole field. So he just let me go into battle and accept his fate. And then we have another game. In this game we will see how scary it can be if Vanquish Soul plays on turn 0. So here I go first. And I sensed something in his hand, so I thought like, okay, I have a handful of monsters, so I don't really need the Parulia. I can also play without it. So why not just use it, especially since I felt my opponent had response in draw standby. I don't really remember. So here I go for the 5 mana first, because he doesn't know what I will fuse with. So if he is on Vanquish Soul and he wants to summon from the hand without giving me a draw, then he has to do it now. But since he doesn't know what I'm fusing with, this is a pretty risky play. So I felt that he has response, but he didn't want to chain. Here simply go for Thalion, getting like 2 names, getting the Malulu and the Ogdula, going for Rahu and for Ketu. Now I go for the Ketu, not to get a pan, and then go for Rahu. In case he would have chained something, I could have also chained the Malulu, so now I go for Gulamel here. I don't know why I summoned it in defense. I should have probably summoned it in tech position, especially since I'm going to set Horn. So now I go for 5 mana again, and here comes the Holisu, and he reveals a Borger. This is pretty bad depending on what he has still has in his hand. Let's see what he does. And I go for the Malulu, and he has Impulse, a Rescue Ace Impulse, which means he will get a Fire Attacker. And I go for Thalion. That's also one of the reasons why I took the pan. I wanted the pan to be able to non-target pop a monster, so in case he has the Holisu, that it can summon, but I will then just pop the freshly summoned monster, which I think gives me the best chance of winning. I could have played the line differently, but I specifically chose to play like this because, like I said, the opponent had response the whole time, and I was assuming it was Vanquish Soul, so I have to be prepared if I just leave my field non-interactive, because I went through all my effects and I'm not able to trigger anything else, then yeah, that would have ended pretty badly. Yeah, so that's the Jarlong. And he goes for the Raisin, but now the pan can pop the Raisin and get the third trap. So in the end, this move made my board a little bit stronger even. Now I immediately go for the Sting in order to go Gulamel, which forces out the Holisu. I should have probably properly read the card, because only the summon effect is during the main phase and the other effect is whenever you want. So I should have probably done that in the main phase, then I would have been able to use 5 mana or Malulu if necessary. But yeah, it is what it is. So So I get to draw another card. And he gets to search. Another Holisu. And a Jalong. From here he has Canine combo if I don't prevent it. I don't know why he summoned it in attack. It would have probably been better to summon it in defense. But yeah. So we return that, get to draw another card, Ash Blossom, which is really nice. And he draws another card. I ash that because the field spell is kind of annoying to deal with. And he has another Lupus, so now is definitely the time to disrupt him, because if he goes into another Ripper, that will be quite painful for me to deal with. I go for the Mululu, and here I negate the wrong monster. I should have properly read the Fire Attacker, because it says if a card is added to your opponent's hand except by drawing it, so that also includes adding it from the graveyard. Now he gets to draw 2 and discard 1, which is kinda bad for me. Kinda big misplay on my part. And now he goes into the work of the Vanquish anyways. Goes into battle, goes instead of my Mululu. And he gets to Maximi, and that's just that's my own fault. I let him draw 2 cards with the rescue as Fire Attacker. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's what I get for it. So I will most likely have to OTK this turn, because Vanquish with a big hand is super scary. So here I let that go because I have the Droplet, so whatever he summons I can negate that. And he goes full defense mode because cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. The turn it's summoned. So the Pan won't be able to kill it, at least not without me using the Droplet. So he changes Fire Attack, and now it definitely makes sense to go for the Droplet, because I really want to OTK this turn. And he knows that's game and concedes. So yeah, that's all the duels that I have for today.